Kenji opened his banking app on a Tuesday night. His salary was $9,000 higher than the year before. His savings showed the same number it had 18 months ago. Not $1 more. He'd chased that raise for 2 years. And somehow he was no richer than the night before it landed. If you've ever felt that, you're not bad with money. You're caught in something almost nobody can see. And it costs far more than you'd guess. Here's what makes it scary. Kenji didn't blow the money. No shopping spree, no boat, no obvious mistake. The raise just dissolved. A nicer apartment, food delivery a few more nights a week, a car payment that suddenly felt reasonable. Before I show you how that happens, you need one number. It changes how you'll see every raise from now on. If you saw the earlier video on why earning more isn't making you richer, think of this as part 2. That one was about the mechanics, the gap where money slips through before you assign it. This one is about your brain and the quiet way it helps the money leak. By the end, you'll know exactly where your last raise went. And you'll have a simple system that makes the next one build wealth on autopilot. Quick note, I'm not a financial advisor. This isn't personalized advice. It's what the data shows and what the math says. Always do your own homework before making money moves. Here's the part nobody tells you. The danger isn't spending the raise. It's that the raise never feels like money. Kenji's $9,000 landed as a little over $500 a month after taxes. $500 doesn't feel like a windfall. It feels like breathing room. And your lifestyle inhales breathing room without asking. The cruel part is there's no villain here. No scammer, no bad decision. No moment you could point to and call a mistake. The money just quietly relocated from your future into your Tuesday nights. And the timing makes it worse than it sounds. The average raise this year is only about 3.5%. After inflation takes its cut, most workers barely break even in real terms. So the raise you fought for isn't even as big as the number on the letter. Part of it is just keeping you level with rising prices, which means the small slice that's actually new money gets eaten first. That's the part that could change your future, and it's exactly what lifestyle creep targets. You don't notice it vanish because it was never large or loud to begin with. The system hands you a tiny, invisible raise, then quietly spends it for you before you knew it was there. Let me walk you through the 5 quiet traps that did this to Kenji, one at a time. So let me start underneath all of them with the trap that powers the rest. Your brain runs on a thermostat. Psychologists gave it a name decades ago. They call it the hedonic treadmill. Here's how it works. Something good happens. You feel the lift. Then fast, your brain resets that good thing to the new normal. The nicer apartment thrilled Kenji for about 2 weeks. By week 3, it was just where he lived. The joy faded. The higher rent did not. That's the whole trick of it. The pleasure is temporary. The cost is permanent. Every upgrade you make quietly becomes the floor you stand on, not the ceiling you celebrate. And once it's the floor, going back feels like losing something. So you never go back. Kenji's apartment cost $300 more a month than his old one. The thrill lasted 14 days. The bill arrives every month for as long as he lives there. Think about your own life for a second. The phone you couldn't afford 5 years ago is just your phone now. The coffee order that felt fancy is just coffee. None of it makes you happier than the old version did. It only costs more. And it works on experiences too, not just things. The restaurant that felt special becomes your regular Thursday. The trip that felt like a once-a-year reward becomes the baseline you'd feel cheated to skip. Your brain files every good thing under normal within a few weeks, then starts scanning for the next bump. That's the treadmill in one line. You run, you stay in the exact same emotional spot, and you pay more for the privilege. Now here's why this thermostat is so dangerous. You can't feel it resetting. There's no alarm. There's no moment where your brain announces the upgrade just became permanent. It happens in the background while you're busy enjoying the upgrade itself, which leads straight into the second trap, the one that hides the money before you ever get to decide anything. You never actually see the raise. That's trap 2. Think about how a raise reaches you. It doesn't land as a check for $9,000. It trickles in, a couple $100s spread across each paycheck. You never hold the lump sum. You never get the moment where you stare at a big number and think, okay, where should this go? Now compare that to a tax refund. People plan refunds for weeks. They name that money before it even arrives. Pay off the card, take the trip, fix the car. Why do refunds get a plan when raises don't? Because a refund shows up as one chunk you can see and point at. A raise is the exact same money, with the decision moment quietly deleted. It just makes your paycheck a little friendlier on Friday. And a friendlier paycheck never gets a plan. It just gets absorbed into the week. It even happens with bonuses. A bonus feels like extra, like found money. So it gets spent like found money on the thing you'd eyed all year. Here's a small test. Ask someone what they did with their last raise. Most people genuinely cannot tell you. Now ask them what they do with a surprise $10,000 check. They'll have an answer in seconds. Same money, totally different response. The only difference is whether your brain ever got to see it as a decision. There's a number coming in a few minutes that shows what that quiet trickle is actually worth across a career. It's bigger than almost anyone guesses. But before we get there, the trickle has a partner, and together they bolt the spending down. Lifestyle moves in one direction. That's trap 3, and it's brutal in its simplicity. Spending ratchets up easily. It almost never ratchets back down. Think about the last upgrade you made. Now picture giving it back. Feels bad, doesn't it? That bad feeling is the ratchet. You'll cancel a $9 streaming service to feel responsible for an afternoon. You will not move back into the smaller apartment. You won't trade the nicer car for your old one. Upgrades get sticky on purpose because your thermostat already reset them to normal. Kenji actually ran an experiment on himself. He listed everything he'd added since the raise. The apartment, the food delivery, the car, 3 subscriptions he'd forgotten he was paying for, a gym across town he liked better, 10 upgrades in 18 months. Then he tried to list what he'd be willing to give up. He got to 0. Not a single one felt optional anymore. Everyone had quietly turned from a treat into a need. And the small stuff compounds quietly too. Those forgotten subscriptions and the extra delivery nights added up on their own. Nearly $200 a month. He wasn't even enjoying most of it. That's the ratchet finishing its work. The treat becomes the baseline, and the baseline feels non-negotiable. And it raises an obvious question. If even Kenji can't reverse this, is there a salary big enough to outrun it? You are really not going to like the answer. Here's where I have to be honest with you. You probably believe there's an income where this stops. Some number where you finally earn enough that lifestyle creep simply can't reach you. There isn't. 1 in 4 people earning more than $100,000 a year say they live paycheck to paycheck. Read that again. People in the top 5th of American earners feeling broke. And it gets stranger. Among people pulling in more than $500,000 a year, that number jumps to 40%. 40%. $500,000, and they still feel like they're scraping by. Let that land for a second. The treadmill does not switch off when you earn more. It speeds up. Every new dollar of income just resets the thermostat one notch higher. The bigger house, the nicer car, the private school, the second home. New floor every time. So maybe you've been telling yourself you'll get serious after the next promotion. I really need you to hear this. The next raise will feel exactly like this one. There is no finish line where the math suddenly flips in your favor. This was never a willpower problem. It's the trap working precisely as designed at every income level on almost everyone who earns one. Now let's talk about the voice in your head. It's trap 4, and it sounds exactly like your best friend. Every upgrade arrives with a story attached. I work hard. I earned this. I deserve it. And here's the uncomfortable part. That story is completely true. You probably did earn it. But watch what the word deserve actually does. It quietly turns a choice into an obligation. The second a purchase feels deserved, it stops feeling optional. You're not deciding to spend anymore. You're just collecting something the world apparently owes you. That might be the most expensive sentence in all of personal finance. I deserve it. Kenji said it about the car, out loud, standing in the dealership. He wasn't wrong to feel proud of getting there. He was just letting the pride sign the loan. And notice the trap hiding inside the trap. The harder you worked for the raise, the more you feel you deserve to spend it. So the people who fought hardest for more money are the exact people most primed to hand it right back. The fix here isn't guilt. Please enjoy your money, that's the whole point of earning it. The fix is just catching that one word before it spends for you. Try this. Next time you feel the deserve coming on, finish the sentence honestly. I deserve this, so I'm choosing to spend $200 I could have invested. Said that way, it's still allowed. It's just a decision again, instead of a reflex. And the last trap makes that little voice even louder. It surrounds you with proof that you're falling behind. Every raise quietly moves your neighbors. That's trap 5, and it's the sneakiest of the bunch. When your income climbs, the people around you change too. New job, new peers, new neighborhood, new sense of normal. The friends who used to split a cheap dinner now book the nice place without blinking. Suddenly, your perfectly good car looks a little tired in the new office parking lot. Your reference point just moved, and you're spending sprints to catch it. You climbed a rung, and the ladder grew another one above you. This is the real reason the finish line always feels exactly one raise away. It quietly moves every single time you reach it. Kenji got promoted onto a team of higher earners. Within a few months, their normal had become his target. Nobody pressured him. Nobody said a single word. The pressure was just in the air. The quiet math of looking around a room and adjusting to fit. And this is why a person can feel genuinely rich at $40,000 and feel poor at 90. Same person, same wants, bigger paycheck. The only thing that changed is who they stand next to. So now we've named all 5. The thermostat, the trickle, the ratchet, the deserved tax, and the ladder. Now you might be thinking, hold on, isn't the entire point of earning more to actually live better? And yes, 100% yes. I'm not telling you to drive a beater and eat rice forever. Nobody wins living that way. That's a miserable way to live, and honestly it doesn't even work, because deprivation just builds up until it snaps. The goal was never zero lifestyle creep. A little creep is the reward, and you earned it. The goal is to choose how much on purpose, instead of letting all 5 traps choose it for you in the dark. That single shift from automatic to chosen is the whole thing. So here's the good news, and it's bigger than any of the traps. You only need one system to beat all 5 at once. And it starts before the raise ever touches your account. And here's the single most common mistake, the one that quietly costs the most. People wait until the raise feels normal to decide what to do with it. They think, I'll adjust once I see how the new paycheck feels. But that's already too late. By the time it feels normal, the thermostat has reset and the money is gone. The decision has to happen before the first bigger paycheck lands. While the money is still abstract and easy to move, waiting is the mistake. Deciding early is the entire fix. So the real question isn't whether you can beat lifestyle creep with willpower. You can't. Nobody can, including the 40% earning $500,000. The question is whether you decide where the money goes before your brain's thermostat ever lays eyes on. That's the entire game. And it's a system, not a diet. I call it the Raise Allocation Protocol, and it's just 3 steps. Here's step 1. Assign the raise on paper before it lands. The day you learn the new number, work out the after-tax amount. Then split it before a single dollar reaches checking. A simple split does the job. Half goes to your future. 30% goes to guilt-free life. 20% goes to short-term goals. That's the 50% rule. It works because you enjoy the raise while it still builds real wealth. Watch how it runs for Kenji. His $500 a month splits 3 ways. $250 to investing, $150 to fun, $100 to a sinking fund. He still upgrades his life. He just caps how far the upgrade reaches. Step 2. Automate it the same week the raise hits. This is the step that actually beats the thermostat. Raise your retirement contribution or your auto transfer by the raise amount that same week. Now the money never lands in your spending account at all. You cannot adapt to money you never see. Out of sight, out of lifestyle. The entire reason creep works is that the cash sits in checking just long enough to feel normal. Automation deletes that window completely. Step 3. Freeze one big category across this raise. Pick your single largest flexible cost, usually rent or the car, and refuse to upgrade it on this round. Just that one. Freezing one big category stops the ratchet from locking in the expense that's hardest to reverse later. Small upgrades are easy to unwind. A bigger apartment is not. So you guard the big door, and you let yourself enjoy the small ones. That's the whole protocol. Assign it before it lands. Automate it the same week. Freeze one big thing. And here's the maintenance, because there's almost none. Put a reminder on your calendar for the same week every year. Raise or no raise. Open the split, check the numbers, and nudge the automatic transfer to match whatever changed. Most people set a budget once and never look again. That's exactly how the creep sneaks back in. The protocol isn't a one-time event. It's a 5-minute appointment you keep with your future self once a year. That's the entire upkeep. Now picture two coworkers who got the identical $9,000 raise on the same day. The first one does nothing, lets it trickle in and creeps. 18 months later his savings haven't moved, same as Kenji at the start. The second one runs the protocol that very first week. Same salary, same job, same city. One of them is quietly building a fortune, and the other genuinely cannot tell you where the money went. That's the whole difference, and it's not income. It's a single decision made early. One 5-minute choice, made before the money ever felt real. That's the entire gap between them. Now here's the number I promised you at the start. That $500 a month Kenji almost spent on autopilot. Invested instead at 7% a year, it grows to more than $600,000 over 30 years. From one raise. Decided one time. And here's the part that should make this feel easy. He doesn't even have to invest all of it. Follow just the 50% rule and invest half, $250 a month. He still lands around $300,000 by retirement, while spending the other half on a genuinely nicer life today. That is the difference between a raise that vanishes and a raise that retires you. Same $9,000. Two completely different lives. Kenji runs the protocol now, on every raise he gets. He didn't suddenly become more disciplined. He just stopped depending on discipline at all. And here's what surprised him most. His life didn't shrink at all. He still eats out. He still took the trip he wanted. He just decided the size of each upgrade on purpose. The only thing he gave up was the autopilot. That trade cost him nothing he ever missed. What it bought him was a future he can finally see. Same paycheck, completely different ending. Here's the one thing to remember when you close this video. You will never feel rich enough to start. That feeling simply never arrives, because the thermostat always resets the moment you do. So you stop waiting for the feeling. You build the system that runs without it. That's the Raise Allocation Protocol. Assign it, automate it, freeze one thing. Screenshot those 3 steps right now and run them on your very next raise, however small it is. Quick question before you go. Which of the 5 traps hit closest to home for you? The thermostat, the trickle, the ratchet, the deserved tax, or the latter? Tell me in the comments, I read them. And if this clicked, watch the next one. It's about paying off your mortgage early in 2026. That one move can quietly cost a homeowner $140,000. It's the same lesson, wearing a different mask. Money lost on purpose this time, through a decision millions think is smart. I'll link it right here. That's the move. Money made simple.